I hear that little ticking noise. It's going tick, 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 tick. Yeah, that clock is ticking. It's after 11. You know what that means? It means it's time for your favorite show and mine, Countdown to Armageddon. And your host today and every day is me, Publius. And I am here to bring you the latest to the greatest and whatever else that comes up to my mind, because this is Publius' show to tell you about the world as I see it. And today's topic is going to be critical race theory, CRT. Now, this is not the same CRT I grew up with, which was a crystal something or another television, basically a computer monitor that weighed about 10 tons. No, this is basically a bullshit political theory being shoved down people's throats as a way to view history. The basic premise of critical race theory is everything that has happened in the world is because of racism. Why did the white people come to America? Racism. They wanted to kill those Indians. They didn't even know about the Indians, but that don't matter because racism is the reason why. Everything was done for racism. Why did we have the American Revolution? Racism. Everything is racism. And you know what? Critical race theory tells you everything is racism. What makes this even more insidious and more vile and more disgusting is the fact that according to critical race theory, everything is white people's fault. Everything that has gone wrong in the world is the fault of white people. You are to judge people based on the color of the skin. That if the person is black or a minority, they have a special worldview that we as white people, or you as white people, have no way of understanding, so you should just bow down and accept that they have privileges that you don't. Because you are a disgusting white person who only got where you are in your life because you're white. Needless to say, Publius thinks this is the biggest bullshit I've ever heard in my life. The very idea that this is actually being taught is, to me, abhorrent. The very premise is racism. This is a racist theory to promote racism. It is not going to end racism. It is not going to limit racism. It's going to make shit worse. Why? Because you can only tell people they're scum for so long before they get mad. And we see this every day now. People are getting fed up. Recently in the news this last week, the state of Washington voted to teach critical race theory in schools, which makes them opposite of a lot of the other states who have made it illegal to teach this crap in schools. And this is a fight that's actually been going on behind the scenes and not very publicized for many years. It started with Trump saying, "No, this is bullshit. We ain't going to be doing this." And he put out an executive order saying that this should not be taught. Biden immediately got rid of that and says, "No, we should teach this. We need to promote this." Now we have states that are saying, "Nope, you ain't teaching that in our schools." Now we have Washington who's come out and said, "Oh, well, yeah, we are. We're going to teach this. This is important. We need to teach people how being white is evil." CRT is taking over this country, and guess what? Shit's getting stupid. I mean, take a look. There's an article in the Epoch Times that talks about Disney being the wokest company out. Let's go ahead and open that up real quick. Let's see, is that the right one? Yes, Disney embraces. That's the right one. If Disney embraces racial politics, critical race theory, and employee training, according to leaked documents. Now, what did they have to say? Basically, they want you to understand. Oh, let's see. I can't read it. I'm a little bit blind here, folks. Hold on. All right, let me zoom in just a little bit. Okay. Walt Disney Corporation is they're pushing this shit on their employees. They're telling their people that America has a long history of systematic racism. Okay, the systemic racism bullshit argument. What has America had a long history of racism? Yes, it has. Is it systemic? Not anymore. Was it prevalent? Yes. Is it still there? It isn't in the system. If you believe it's in the system, please show me a law that is racist. Show me an agency that is racist. Now, I can show you a couple that are racist, but they're racist against white people. Biden's new economic aid package that goes only to minority farmers. Okay, that's racist. But that doesn't count according to CRT because that's an attempt to fight white privilege. Now let's continue reading down. Now they are calling this diversity and inclusion program Reimagine Tomorrow. You know, reimagine. I'd like to imagine tomorrow where everybody, let's go with Martin Luther King Jr., where people are not judged by the color of their skin. Oh, no, that's racism. Matter of fact, there was a great episode done by Babylon Bee. You can find it on YouTube. If I think about it, I'll put a link into the comments. And then basically, you have a group of KKK members talking about the new racism. This is so funny because the head KKK guy, he hates this. This is bullshit in his book. One of his young guys says, oh no, if you tell people you don't look at the color of skin, that you're colorblind, you're racist. He's like, what? No. And as the younger kid lists the modern racism, the guy gets offended. The head KKK guy gets offended. He finds this all insulting, and he says, that's not racism, that's just stupid. And that's it, folks, because that's what we're looking at. But let's go ahead and continue in this stupid article. And an allyship for race consciousness, individuals training on topics such as white privilege, systematic racism, and microaggressions. You know what a microaggression is? It's when you think someone is doing something wrong and there's no real reason to say they are. It also tells white employees to examine and work through feelings of guilt, shame, and defensiveness to understand what is beneath them and what needs to be healed, and recommends employees challenge colorblind ideologies and rhetoric, such as all lives matter, I don't see color because they are harmful and hurtful. Okay, folks, I can't read any more of this crap. Pull up my picture. Why? I'm sorry, I can only handle so much bullshit in any given day. If you have a belief and you want to know if your belief is racist, change the race. If you believe all whatever is stupid, if you want to say all blacks are stupid, obviously, if you want to find out if that is racist, since it is, all you got to do is change it to say all whites are stupid. Does that sound wrong? Bottom line, if you can switch the races and it's not an offense, then it's not racist. If it's offensive, because when you change it to a different race, it's offensive to anybody. And it is a racist comment. The idea that whites are the only ones that can suffer from racism is pure bullshit. I know the new movement says in order to be racist, you have to have power. Well, no. Racism was defined for centuries, or ages at least, as when you judge someone based on the color of their skin and you inherently feel that one color of skin is better than another. That the other skin colors make these other people inherently inferior. Now, what you're seeing here with critical race theory is exactly that. They're saying, look at the white people. They are guilty. You are judging an entire race by the color of their skin. And if you think this is okay, then you're a racist. At least be honest and own it. You do not believe in Martin Luther King, so stop pretending. You don't want equality, stop pretending. You want to subjugate an entire race. You want to make them pay. At least you should do is be open and honest about it. Now, there's another article out there. I'm only going to show you the headline on it. Let me pull it up. That's the 1612 article. You have the teachers union. The heads defend teaching the 1619 project, critical race theory in schools. How you can defend the idea that you're going to force students to say they are inherently racist simply because they're white. I got bad news for you. The color of your skin doesn't always denote your ethnicity. Want proof? Publius knows an individual who's as fair-skinned as the next person, and that person's name is Anastasio Martinez. Oops! Why? Because the Spanish, when they came to North America, Spaniards tend to be white. In mixing with the other cultures, you get the brown modern Hispanics. But, you mean the color of your skin doesn't necessarily denote your ethnicity? Yeah. Then you got people like Barack Obama, who's of mixed ethnicity. But what? Part of him was kept down while the other parts weren't? I mean, the whole concept of this racial viewpoint is that you can judge someone purely by the color of their skin. I always, when I was growing up, back in the 70s and 80s, I always thought that was wrong. I was taught it was very wrong to judge someone by the color of their skin. And the idea that we now have teachers' unions defending the idea of teaching their students this and treating their students based on this, I'm sorry, it's no wonder that parents are throwing a fit. All Publius has to say about this is, thank God my kids are out of school, public school now. I'm sorry, the longer this shit goes on, the quicker we're going to have a war. Because if you keep telling one group of people that they're scum, eventually they're going to get fed up. And when that group of people happens to be 50% of your population, you got a problem, Maynard. They're going to come. They're going to come with guns. And one thing you want to keep in mind is some of those white people you guys are criticizing are rednecks. Rednecks like their guns. Rednecks are good with their guns. I mean, I saw the other day this girl, she had to have been about 5 or 6 years old, shooting a rifle and nailing a deer at almost 200 yards. There's no spray and pray here. One shot, one kill, bang. See, there's the difference. Gangs spray and pray. They don't have to be perfectly accurate. Why? Because they're not paying for their bullets the way everybody else does. They're stealing them, and it's being paid for by drug money. Rednecks out in the country, they're buying their bullets, so they're not spraying and praying. They're doing their best to hit one shot, one kill. And you ain't going to like it when that one shot, one kill starts coming at you. You want to have a race war? This is not good. I'll tell you right now. Sorry, folks. If you haven't noticed, I had made a comment that was inappropriate for YouTube, and I know they would have banned me for it. What I'm going to say is that if you're going to push a racial war, then realize not everybody that's going to of your race or skin color is going to support your side. A lot of people are going to sit back and say, this whole 1619 project, your CRT concept, is bullshit, and I'm against you. This is not going to be good. And what's going to make this type of a war so horrendous is, how do you know who the enemy is? You're not going to know. You're going to judge people by the color of their skin, but even that's not going to help you, because some of the people that you think might be safe won't be with you. Publius is sitting here trying to tell you all, get your heads out of your backsides and start treating people equally and fairly, and stop this critical race theory bullshit and put it in the garbage where it belongs, along with all the rest of this stupid Marxist thought that you guys keep trying to shovel. Marxism doesn't work. In theory, it cannot work. You're missing some major points, and I'll bring that up in another episode. Bottom line, you got to start using your brain, and CRT is not using your brain. It's racism at its worst. And this has been Publius on your countdown to Armageddon, talking about one of the things that is going to lead to Armageddon. If you've enjoyed today's show, hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button. Get your friends to subscribe, your neighbors, your relatives, your enemies, everybody down the street, because eventually, if you do not get them to subscribe, eventually they might be drawn into this sucker play, and you never know where that's going to lead. Either way, if you'd like to support this channel, you may do so through this site. You can either through BitChute, or here at YouTube. You can go through the channel page itself and donate to us, or you can look down in the description section. You can see a number of ways that you can donate. You'll also see Publius's email address. If you want to tell me that I'm the cutest sounding voice you've ever heard, go ahead, let me know. I'll agree. If you want to tell me I sound like rotten tomatoes, hey, go ahead and tell me. I don't mind. I'll take any and all my email. Gives me something to do when I'm not bitching about the government. Either way, you guys have a great time. And remember, if you're judging someone by the color of their skin, you are a racist. And you need to get over it.